Hello, everyone, and welcome to another very special episode. She Scores Bangers is teaming up with the Northern Super League over the next few weeks to bring you exclusive interviews with players and others that are gearing up for their inaugural season, set to kick off on April 16th. The NSL, founded by former Canada International Diana Matheson, is Canada's first ever professional women's soccer league, with 6 clubs based in Halifax, Calgary, Ottawa, Toronto, Vancouver, and Montreal. You can catch the action on CBC, TSN, and other online streaming platforms. Today's guest holds one of the most iconic names in Canadian women's soccer. A 3-time Olympian, she won gold at the 2020 Olympics in Tokyo. Representing her nation since the teenage years, she's racked up over 180 appearances for Canada. She's also played alongside NSL founder Diana Matheson for many, many years. Starting her professional career in Vancouver, she went stateside and played at different clubs in the NWSL, including a quick trip to England with Notts County. She's making a return not only to back home, but to soccer, as she joins Ottawa Rapid, and it's none other than the destroyer, Desiree Scott. Desi, it's a pleasure to have you here. How are you doing today?
I'm doing well. Looking forward to chatting. How are you?
I'm doing very, very well. I also am very much looking forward to speaking with you today. A lot to talk about, Ottawa, NSL. But I think something that I should ask is I feel like you have kind of put this together where you love being involved in inaugural seasons. You were involved in the NWSL kickoff, and now you're going to be here for the NSL kickoff. What is it about being part of historical moments that you very much love being there for?
Well, yeah, I've been very fortunate to be a part of 2 amazing leagues. Not intentional, but happens to be where I'm at. I think it's incredibly part of something that's coming to life for the first time, being a part of an inaugural season, both with the NWSL and now the Northern Super League. Um, I'm just incredibly excited to help build something and be a part of that.
Talk to me about that excitement of the NSL. I think we've heard rumblings about it. You've been one of the players who have consistently pushed for a professional structure in a league in Canada. It's happening now. Talk to me about the feels and just the overall, I think, excitement of this finally happening.
It's incredibly exciting. Obviously, yes, this is something us national team players have talked about needing, how we're a top 10 nation with no domestic league. It's been a long time coming. I didn't think in my career that I'd be able to be involved in playing and be a part of it. But we're here. It's launching in April. And it's just incredible to see that it's finally coming to fruition. People are getting an opportunity to play pro in their backyard. It's just exciting. And so many people, all the Canadian fans who love this sport will be able to tune in week in and week out.
I think the beauty of this league is not only are we seeing youngsters get an opportunity to start their professional career here in Canada, come back to Canada, but we're seeing a lot of involvement, I think, from active players, former players, taking up positions across the league. What does this league cater to more than just offering professional contracts to players on the pitch?
Yeah, I think it really is just now we have that full pathway that I think this country needs from grassroots all the way to pro. I think it allows for opportunity for so many people who may have been looked over or overlooked in previous opportunities. Now, coaches, teams can take note of talent that's within our border, and you can just see that week in and week out. And I think, Canadians are going to be excited about the product that's going to be put out on the pitch for sure.
You have spent the majority of your career outside of Canada. Obviously, you spent some time in Vancouver. You spent your collegiate soccer in Manitoba, but the majority of your professional career has been across stateside, briefly in England as well. Um, uh, was there frustration with knowing that you couldn't play at home, or did it get relatively like, "Ugh, I wish I could just go back home and play and not spend my entire career away from home and away from Winnipeg"?
Yeah, I'm a homebody, so definitely was longing for that opportunity within Canada, but at the time it wasn't an option. So you obviously stay open to going to where you can to develop and continue to grow as a player. And I think the part of sport is being able to travel and see the world. I've been so lucky to play all over the world. So I think it's a fantastic part of my career and something I've enjoyed. But now to be able to come home, Canadian fans, like I said, family in the stands, friends, I think it's just an exciting opportunity.
So how did this opportunity come about? How did the whole you joining Ottawa Rapid materialize?
Yeah, it was a long time in the making. Obviously, like good friends of mine, Diana Matheson, the Steph Labes, Christine Sinclair is helping to found and build this league. And we have a group chat, and they're like, Des, I know you're saying you're retiring, but the league's coming. And so it was like, ha ha ha. And every little, like every month, honestly, they were just checking in, seeing how I was feeling. And for me personally, it was just kind of a crappy year and a half soccer wise in life, and it's been really hard. And I think as the dust settled, I announced my retirement from the NWSL. At that time, I was at peace and ready to move on to the next chapter. But I got back home to Winnipeg and was kind of just sitting. And I was like, I still have more to give. This is not how my Desiree Scott story I want to end. And I think I can still have impact. And to do that within Canada and with a league here, I think is just the perfect combination and recipe to continue to have that impact on the game here in Canada.
So the game somehow reeled you back in. Like you didn't really anticipate being like, I'll be back on the pitch playing.
I didn't. I knew my involvement in the Northern Super League was going to happen. I just didn't know in what capacity. And Ottawa reached out and they were like, "Hey, like we would love to have you here." And they're just what they want to build there is incredible. They also know where I'm at in my career and understood, who I am, the 37-year-old destroyer, like the phase of life that I'm in, and also wanting to help me in my post career, which, getting to learn what it takes to run a club, how it is to be a part of the Super League, and all of those things. So I'm excited for everything that's to come.
Tell me about the excitement of Ottawa. I mean, it's obviously the capital of the country. It's not, you would say, city-esque. Like it's not the crazy Toronto, Vancouver vibes. I feel like it's similar-ish to Winnipeg. Um, Kind of the excitement about repping the city and traveling a little further away from Winnipeg.
Yeah, I think you said it right there. It's not one of those big cities, and me coming from Winnipeg, Ottawa seemed like the best fit in just terms of who I am as a human being. And Ottawa's not a place that I have visited too often, so I'm excited to get to know the people there, the fans, explore the city, maybe learn a little bit more French. I realize that Quebec is just a 15-minute drive. My geography is not great, but yeah, I'm just really excited. The people there, the soccer, the culture and sport that they're building there with the PWHL,
Mhm.
CPL, everything there. I just think it's going to be a great vibe, and I'm excited for it all.
It's a sports city that has, I think, produced. I think, very, like you mentioned, like it's very close to Quebec, so you could say, you could link it with Vanessa Gilles, even though she's not directly from Ottawa. But it's a sports city that has been screaming for professional soccer, and so for Ottawa Rapid to go there and do the work now, I think is exciting. I want to talk a little bit about DJ. Your foster brother, who you formally adopted in 2021. He's a teenager now. How
Yes.
was the feel about him moving to Ottawa? Did he convince you, like, let's do this? Was there some resistance? Tell me about that, because that's probably a different sort of responsibility that when you were retiring, maybe you hadn't anticipated of like, right, we're moving all over again now.
For sure, yeah. He actually said to me, I thought we were retiring, which was just quite funny. He's obviously like my heart and soul, my pride and joy, and he's my partner in crime. He's been with me in Kansas City for the last few years, and he was actually, I had the good conversation with him, like, this is the opportunity. What do you think? And he was like, Des, we gotta go. Like he was hyped for me, excited about the opportunity, excited to move, and he likes the travel life. He gets to, what a lucky kid he is to be able to be around greatness and women playing professionally every day. He's super fortunate and open to it, and he was one of the deciding factors to like push me. And he's like, "Did you train today?" So he's holding me accountable as well. And yeah, we're both really excited.
I love how he speaks as a unit. We're retiring. We're moving. We're going to Ottawa. I love that. It's like a duo. It's a package that goes together. You just
Exactly.
briefly touched on the last 20 months that have been challenging for you both professionally and personally, and you've been pretty open about that. Something that you've continually mentioned is that you wanted to prove to yourself that you can come back, that you're resilient, you're a resilient woman. Talk to me about that journey and kind of the up and downs, but still being resilient to come back and be at this point now.
Yeah, I think that's the journey over the last year and a half has been really, really tough. My mom passing, she was my biggest supporter and my rock, and to lose a parent is never easy. And then to have to take on the load of being the sole guardian for my teenage boy, like another thing I didn't anticipate. And then in the soccer side of things, like just I'm used to having an impact and getting minutes, and then to be left off national team rosters, and then being an alternate. Like, it was just a complete roller coaster. And in Kansas City, not having the impact I would have wanted. So for me, I definitely am proud of myself to come out the other side, to work my injury, first major injury in my life. Like, and I start to write it all down. I'm like, man, been a lot that has been on my plate, and I'm just really proud of the woman I've become through it, and to be here standing and still wanting to give back to the sport and still play and have that fire, and to get fit again, like all of those things. It's just there is that fire underneath me to just prove that you're better than your circumstances, and hopefully my story inspires people to continue on through the hard stuff.
I think it's really inspiring, and I think particularly everything that you've done in your career, you're a role model, you inspire, and I think this is another bit of it that I think is brilliant for youth in Canada. You brought up the Olympics and sort of the loop you said of being an alternate, and then just what happened at the Olympics. But you've always said that was a bit of a perfect role for you, and how you had to step up off the pitch perhaps and put the team together in what was very, very tough circumstances. I think often some people shy away from having to step up in an environment like that. What is it about you that you feel like you thrive being in situations like that where you have to take on a leadership role?
A great question. I think I just care so much. I innately have such a big heart and want the best for the people around me. And I think that shines through with people that I meet, whether it's a team or, friendships. I just want the best for people. And I think I lead with that. I lead with light and love. And I think I have the ability to just connect a group and in the hard times, and maybe bring some lightness to the group in a whirlwind of emotions and craziness that did ensue in the Olympics. And when I say the perfect role, I just feel like I just brought a sense of calm to the chaos, and just like was able to hug people. People were comfortable to chat with me through, their feelings of what was going on, and just having that experience of being at an Olympic Games before. And some people, it was their first Olympic Games. I was like, this is not how it should be. So just being sort of that rock for the young ones, and even the people who have been on the team for years, just trying to be the mom and hug them and support them and just lead with love, like I said.
There's a lot of youngsters in that Ottawa team that we're seeing being put together. Are you looking forward to having that? I don't want to say veteran role, but like, the Desiree Scott destroyer, just the wealth of experience that you're going to bring into the squad. And then probably a lot of the players that have watched you play as they grow up and said, I also want to be like Desi.
Yeah, I'm feeling a little seasoned now with some of those comments, but no, I that's a big part again why I wanted to come to this league and continue to have the impact and be a leader and help build a culture in Ottawa, and help, with my knowledge of the game in terms on field, what it takes to build a solid team and a foundation. And I'm really excited about the opportunity and to be able to play alongside. I don't want to chase them. They're going to have a little bit more of an engine than me. I've got my work cut out for me, but all of it I'm excited about. I think I'm just an open book, willing to share and help out in any way I can.
I think a lot of the folks that will get to play alongside you are very lucky. But we will also see you face against former teammates. Are you looking forward to that? Were you anticipating, with the Northern Super League now bringing together former teammates, now opposition, something that you're probably pretty familiar with in the NWSL?
Yeah, it'll make the year more fun. I mean, like planning, okay, we got Vancouver up next, and we're going to plan what coffee shop we go to and hang out before the game. Like, I'm looking forward to that bit and being able to see people a lot more throughout the league. I'm impressed with how much talent they're recruiting here in the Northern Super League. I didn't know honestly what it was going to look like, but you're seeing big names, whether it's the youth national teams, former national team players, and just like recruiting from outside of Canada as well, overseas. I think it's just incredible to see the talent that's coming here, and it's going to be way more competitive, I think, than I anticipated. So I'm getting ready for it.
I think a lot of folks are in the same boat, being like, wow, the standard is much, much higher than we anticipated it to be in year one. Certainly, it's going to continue to grow and rise in professionalism. Are we hopefully going to see a team in Winnipeg?
That would be the goal, being the proud Winnipegger that I am. Expansion team. I'm hoping to get one here in a few years' time. I think, the Prairies deserves it. It's something that I've always said coming from Manitoba, like good players are in the Prairies. And I think oftentimes we fly over us, and I want to help continue to put, Manitoba and the Prairies on the map. And if I can bring a team to Winnipeg, that would be a dream.
I think that's one certainly to make happen in Winnipeg. I think that region, like you mentioned, a lot of talent flies under the radar and perhaps, unfortunately, doesn't have a net to catch them. So a team over there, I think, will do just that. Desi, a final last fun question here is you've been in many different locker rooms with many, many different players. Is there a weird superstition that you have seen across that time that you will want to bring to the Ottawa locker room?
Maybe not a weird superstition, but I am a big like dance party gal. Some people like to visualize and be quiet. I will be making sure there's a good song on and people can let loose a little bit. I think it helps with the nerves.
Mhm.
Get a little dance party going prior to locking in and getting serious before the match.
Do you have a favorite pregame like song that you certainly must have?
There's no go-to, like Afro beats are hitting right now. Anything by Beyonce, she's the queen bee. Anything with a good beat that gets you on your feet.
Well, I feel like you're gonna be on the Bluetooth. You're gonna be on the speaker, putting all the songs. And I feel like, I mean, just listening to that, I'm pretty amped up, and I don't have a game to go to. So, those in the locker room are lucky. Desi, thank you so much for joining me today. Good luck with kicking it off with Ottawa. I think myself and many are very much looking forward to seeing professional soccer start in Ottawa with your involvement.
Love it. Thank you so much. I'm excited.